Hello, Virgo. Thank you so much for being here with me again, you guys. All right, Virgo, so I like the oracle cards that are coming through for you, especially considering the fact that you had a pretty difficult week last week for some of you. And I do like that reason from Le Vampire is showing up, because very much so this card is about not overthinking things too much. Virgo, seriously. So now from Le Vampire you pulled reason, listen to advice, think clearly, and intellect. But then from Chakra Wisdom you pulled expansion, and the both of them talk about getting wise advice. Now with reason, it's definitely talking about you needing to clear your mind and work through the details of a dilemma, getting away from habitual ways of thinking, which is a good thing for you. Now, it also does talk about, being open to the good advice that may be being given to you by somebody else, and that's kind of where expansion is coming through. Now, with expansion, it does say that, you need to be careful about anyone who is critical of your dreams, right? This card is talking about possibly changing friendships. Now, the card at a glance says that your life is changing as you move away from the old way of relating to others. New people are entering your life. Relationships may no longer work. You need to reach out to those who are in the same vibrational frequency of personal upliftment. Call upon your higher companions to advise you at this time. So basically what it's saying is that you need to surround yourself with the people who uplift you, and help you to see that maybe sometimes, you're not thinking clearly about a situation, right? But it's also about you getting the aha moment. All right, Virgo, here we go. Here is your overall for the week. Damn it. Why? Okay, so the Five of Cups. This week is going to be about not just the emotional pain and suffering you've been through, but looking at where you have been disappointed in your life. The big message has always been with this card that you still have those 2 cups remaining that you can build on. Some of you may feel like you received less than what you thought you deserved, which points to the 3 spilled cups, right? But some of you, man, we're talking about hurt emotions, some of you possibly being depressed. But it's all about working through this right now. And I'm hoping that some of you are coming out of this. Now, in the past, ooh boy, the King of Pentacles. I'm not going to call it yet. I want to wait and see because I'm always hopeful, especially when it comes to the Pentacles. So, okay, first of all, you could be talking about an earth sign, possibly. But with the King of Pentacles, and again, a lot of you guys know me. I look at the description of the person first before I actually look at signs. But that's just me. Now, with the King of Pentacles, the question of dependability comes into play when you're looking at the Five of Cups being the signifier. So now, Mr. King of Pentacles, right? And this could be male or female, being a general reading. But, I'm going to say that for some of you, this is going to be about a male figure coming through. Is this person giving of their time and resources, or are they too focused on what they can gain from you or a situation, right? Oh, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful here about the King of Pentacles. Okay. Oh, wow. So Taurus, maybe? In the present, the Hierophant. Now, if you've been disappointed in the past, looking at, the Hierophant as present conditions, it can talk about you needing to stick to traditions, right? Whether that's a traditional relationship or sticking to, I don't want to say like conformity. Like I feel more so like we just need to stop like doing things that, are not in the traditional way. Like I'm trying to figure out how to word this here. So now for some of you though, with the Hierophant being in the present and with the Five of Cups being here, it could suggest that, the traditional relationship didn't exactly fulfill you or work out. Some of you may be looking for something that's more traditional. When you look at the Hierophant, there's so many different aspects to him, and I feel so many different things when I look at it. So first of all, with the Hierophant, and I'm going on like, you know, my view of the card here. When you're looking at the fives, it's all about the difficult changes that we go through in the halfway point between 1 through 10. So when you look at the Hierophant, like back in the day, this would be people saying, you know, oh my God, I don't understand why all this horrible stuff is happening to me. I need to get right with God. So he's looked at as the go-between as far as humanity and God, right? But nowadays, the Hierophant can represent any religious faith, right? And it could suggest that for some of you, you may have gone against tradition and you're needing to go back into it. Or we're talking about a person here that, you know, they may be a little bit too dominant and wanting you to kind of conform to what they want you to do. And it's disappointing. I mean, there are so many different ways to look at this. But let's see. Let's see what else is going on here. Future conditions, the Seven of Pentacles. So now, you're reevaluating things. Especially when we're talking about a person coming through here. You know, if you didn't have that kind of traditional relationship with this person, you know, whatever that means, whether it's, you know, a marriage, a partnership, a business partnership, a family member, right? With the Seven of Pentacles, it can suggest that, you know, you're not really seeing the results that you wanted to out of it, which is why we're reevaluating things now. Now, for some of you, this could just simply be about being disappointed at the fact that somebody didn't come through with some help here, because the Hierophant does represent the higher institutions. When you're talking about banks and colleges, right? But I don't know, I feel more so that this has to do with wanting something traditional, but then maybe not really getting it. You know, I think that this person's intentions coming through for some of you are wanting to have something traditional, or they could be the one that's like trying to lift you back up though too, looking at expansion. But again, with the Seven of Pentacles, no matter what you're looking at here, there is a question of whether or not you're seeing the results out of this situation that you want to see, especially based on what you put into this, right? So do we continue? Are you seeing what you want? Or is there a different way of starting to do things? Oh my goodness, your best path to follow. This one like bothers me when it shows up here, because you know you're looking at the advice position. The Five of Pentacles, as far as advice, you know, if you felt financial strain, especially with all these pentacles showing up here, it's really about you needing to turn that around now. This is never permanent. It really is up to you in getting yourself out of this. Now, on the other hand, you know, it speaks to rejection, being on the outside looking in, and you've got, you know, two really difficult fives going on here, and then you've got the Hierophant right now. So, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, no matter if you were rejecting somebody else or if you have felt rejected, it's about, you know, getting over that now. And the same thing with financial difficulties. Man, some of you, you know, are just really disappointed by something that didn't come through. You know, whether that's a person or a relationship or a job or a loan. But man, that's difficult. All right. Oh my God. Virgo, really? Like, I'm telling you, I better not see the Five of Swords. Oh my goodness, the Five of Wands. With the Hierophant being there, it could definitely talk about the internal struggle, which is what I'm seeing more so often with the Five of Wands rather than you actually dealing with competition now. On the other hand, though, you know, this could definitely be talking about you and another person just not, you know, getting along. It's petty. It's not that anybody is intending to hurt anybody else here. It's just nobody's hearing each other out. So it's about petty arguments. Man, oh man. And I can understand why there, you know, is this disappointment here. But, you know, if this disappointment is really about what you've dealt with in the past, if you have somebody else coming through, you know, if I feel like for some of you, we're just like, pushing them off. Like, you know, I almost feel like you just don't want to go through this again. But yet, you know, this person, for some of you, could be representing commitment here and wanting to be traditional. But I don't think that that's something that, you know, you're hearing with the Five of Wands being there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Your hopes and your fears, the Page of Cups. It's all about a new emotional experience and the communication of emotions. Now, for some of you, you could straight up be fearing this and not really wanting for somebody to express the way that they feel because you're too busy dealing with this right now and trying to get over this. The Page of Cups is about, you know, that naive emotional energy. You know, the puppy love is what they refer to it as. You know, creativity is definitely a part of this too, but this is all new feelings, new emotions, the communication of emotions. So either you're hoping for this or you're not wanting to deal with it right now. And I do think that for some of you, you're just not, it's almost like you're not ready for it just yet. Just yet. And I don't think that, you know, your intention is to hurt somebody, but I do think that you may be kind of like pushing somebody off here, like, look, you know, I'm just not into it just yet. Like, I'm not ready for it. Like, I have to deal with these emotions first before I can even think about, you know, doing something in the traditional sense. Wow, Virgo. Oh, and then coming out of this, you know, you're still trying to figure things out here. Reevaluating your emotions, but still kind of like juggling that shit out and balancing it out. Now, first of all, with the moon is one of those cards where, you know, for me, traditionally, nothing is what it appears to be, right? The moon reflects the light of the sun. So you're talking about, you know, that inner reflection that's happening here. Are you seeing yourself in a distorted way? Are you seeing a situation as it really is? Or are you projecting unrealistic fears and expectations onto things? Or is somebody doing this to you? It's a time of emotional confusion, right? And it's really about, you know, finding your way through this. You know, it shows the subconscious mind and all the things that are coming up here. And what I worry about is that, you know, you may be looking at the situation as it's okay, let me just spit this out here. You're not seeing a situation for what it really is. And it may be because you have, you know, fears and anxieties that you're still trying to work through here. But unfortunately, it's almost like you're projecting that onto the situation. There. Spit it out, Junior. Okay, so now with the Eight of Wands, the situation is happening too quickly. And that's it. Right? It's too quick. And there's no need for you to act immediately here. But with the Wheel of Fortune, you know, it could be just one of those things where it's about timing. Maybe the timing isn't right for you to start the new cycle just yet. You know, I mean, the opportunity there for better things to happen, you know, is there for you. It's just whether or not you're ready to go through a new cycle just yet. Right? And then compassion. And that, to me, speaks to you needing to have compassion for yourself. Especially with the Five of Cups being there. But adventure, to me, is saying that, you know, you got to put yourself out there, right? We can't stay in the emotion of the Five of Cups, right? It's time to experience something else. But you need to have compassion for yourself. And then focus on love. Look for the good attributes in each and every person, which, you know, and I've been saying this repeatedly with this one, is basically telling you, do not judge another person based on the asshole that you have dealt with in the past, right? There is good in everybody. But I just don't think that the time is right for some of you. I think that, you know, we need to get through the fog of the moon and, you know, stop looking at yourself in a distorted way. And if a situation is happening too fast, you don't need to act right now. You know, but the Five of Cups and the Five of Pentacles really needs to be dealt with, right? We need to get past this feeling of being on the outside and looking in. get past the emotional suffering that you may be dealing with here, because I do think that some of you need a new adventure in your life. Okay, Virgo, so clearly you guys are still dealing with the Five of Cups here. Past disappointments, some hurt emotions. But I do think that you have somebody coming through here, and it looks like, he's wanting to give you assistance. But, looking at the Hierophant and the Five of Wands, I don't think that you're wanting that kind of commitment, and I don't think that, this person is really hearing that or understanding it. And the more I look at it, it's like, well, I can understand wanting to have things traditional here, but, wait a minute, because I feel like you have a lot going on here. Now, with the Seven of Pentacles, right, reevaluating your situation, and more so reevaluating what is going on with you emotionally. But I think that there's a fear here as far as, the Page of Cups. Normally I would be like, oh yeah, right? Like new emotions, the expression of emotions, but I don't think you want this. And I don't think that you want somebody to misconstrue, you leaning on them for assistance as, you wanting to have an emotional connection. It's just, you're dealing with too much. Now, with the Five of Pentacles, I do think that this is about rejection. It may be one of those things where, you're so used to experiencing this that you think that that's always going to be the case, that you're just going to eventually get rejected in the end. But I also think it has to do with, the King of Pentacles coming through here and maybe rejecting the emotions as far as like what they're trying to express to you, which I do think that that's the case for some of you. Now again, it's like you have way too much on your plate right now, and you're just kind of trying to be flexible and go with things, trying to keep everything going in your life right now and dealing with the difficult emotions. I do think that this situation happened too fast, and I do think that with the moon here, we're not clear on anything. And I do think that you have a distorted view on yourself and the situation here. But it's only because of what you've been through, because again, we're dealing with the Five of Cups. But I don't think that some of you want this to be a repeating cycle, which is why you're like not having it. And like, I get it. Now, as far as, reason and expansion, definitely you want to be listening to the right advice, and you want to get rid of people who, are going against what your dreams and desires are. Anybody that would hinder you from otherwise improving your own life, basically. But definitely you don't want to be overthinking things here. There may be a change of like friendships that are happening too. But I do think that it's time for you to like have some adventure, right? Reconnect with spirit, adventure, and compassion, and having compassion for yourself more so than anything else. I see that more with compassion when I look at these readings than you needing to be compassionate toward others. It always seems to be that we forget to have compassion for ourselves, especially when we've been through things that have been extremely emotionally difficult, right? But I do think that you guys need some adventure here, right? And reconnect with spirit has always been good advice. Now, as far as Whispers of Love, again, right, like if you need help, ask for it, definitely. Like, don't reject any help that may be coming through, especially on an emotional level. That or reasonable advice that may be coming through. But, the other one here, as far as focus on love, I've repeatedly been saying this. And and I understand it, because if you've been through a situation with an asshole, we have the tendency to look at other people like, what do you really want? What is it that you're really wanting from me, right? And you can't prejudge somebody based on the shithead that you were dealing with before. We have to look at the good in everybody, right? But I just think that Virgo, now is not the time. And like, I understand. Whatever emotional pain that you're dealing with, it's time for you to do what you have to get past this, right? And you're still trying here. I really do think that you're trying. It's just you have a lot going on right now.